everyone, welcome to Thorough Newspaper Analysis, which is brought to you by LawSikho. So today we will be discussing these articles. Firstly, Signs of Monsoon, which is from the Hindu, and this basically discusses upon the kinds of monsoon that India actually experiences and how a better understanding of this monsoon and better development of technologies for predicting the monsoon can help the authorities and the people to predict any kind of perils that are attached to heavy rainfall. And secondly, In Defense of Liberty from the Indian Express and Stand with France, again from the Indian Express, wherein we will be discussing the recent attacks that have taken place in the French city of Nice and how these attacks are actually deterring the very liberty of the people who are living in France. And finally, News and Flash, wherein we'll be discussing the pointer news articles that are more important for a prelims exam. So if you're also preparing for judicial services exam, you can have a look at the LawSikho courses that we have for you. So we have the Lord of the Courses, which is our judiciary test prep course. You can have a look at it. The link is there in the description box, and from the landing page, you can download free study material as well. You can have a look at the other LawSikho courses as well from the LawSikho page. So this is the multiple choice question for the day. National Unity Day is observed commemorating the birth anniversary of first, Swami Vivekanand, second, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, third, Mahatma Gandhi, or fourth, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. You can write down the correct answer in the comment section below. So this is the descriptive question for the day. Discuss in detail what steps can be taken to tackle the problem of frequent flooding in various parts of India. Also discuss in brief the major reasons behind this issue. So the answer must be written within a word limit of 250 to maximum 300 words. With this, let's start our discussion for the first article for the day, which talks about the signs of monsoons. So recently, the India Meteorological Department has declared a withdrawal of the associated winds and windfall pattern from India that we know as the Southwest Monsoon 2020. So now here, as you can see, that this is the winter monsoon, which actually originates from the northeastern part of the country and is known as the winter monsoon. And this is the summer monsoon, which actually originates from the southwestern part of India. So here, the Indian Meteorological Department has said that now there will be a withdrawal of the winds and the windfall pattern from India as related to the southwest monsoon, that is this one. So let's understand a bit about the India's monsoon data. This year 2020 has seen an 8% surplus in the rainfall, and it has surpassed the IMD's estimates. So this basically has become a question because we tend to celebrate the fact that we are having better rains than the previous year, or even more than the estimates. But we should also understand that the increased rains also bring along various kinds of other challenges like landslides, floods, loss of lives, overflowing dams, etc. And we'll see it into a greater detail just now. Then also, we have received more than 100% of its long period average, which is known as the LPA, of 88 centimeters in consecutive years. And this has actually happened for the first time since 2010, as last year also we had it at 110% of LPA, and this year also we have had it more than 100% of it. And as a matter of record, since the entire data that has been available at the India Meteorological Department website, since 1988, India had never received over 105% of the long period average or the LPA in consecutive years. But now for 2019 and 2020, we have had it, as last year we had it at 110%, and in this year we have had it more than 100% even till now. So this has actually proved that due to the changing patterns of the climate, and also this has impacted hugely on the Indian monsoon system as well. And due to this, we are currently seeing huge rains and also floods in this entire region of India. This one, which we are referring to, if we talk about this sense, so here is our part of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh and Hyderabad, and we know that both, all of these areas have been experiencing great amounts of floods, and also many lives have been lost due to this. And that is why we know that, very recently also we had discussed this idea that this year the Indian agriculture has seen a better produce because the monsoon or the rains were better as compared to the previous years. But this is not the only thing that has happened, because this is the positive aspect of having better rains. But on the other side, other areas, just like we discussed about Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Hyderabad, have been facing huge floods because greater amount of rain has actually led to more floods, because our drainage system in the country, our the rivers also in our country have lost their capability to hold huge amounts of water. There has been over sedimentation of rivers as well as the dams, which have actually made the dams to overflow, and landslides due to various construction and mining activities. And due to this, the loss of lives has taken place, and this is still continuing in its nature. Now, here are some steps that need to be taken to improve the state and city's disaster management. Firstly, improve flood forecast warnings. Now, here, as this, my one example has been given as iFlows in Mumbai, which is an integrated flood warning system which has been launched. So we need to understand that this system has actually made the use of technology, satellites, and other kinds of technological gadgets, wherein now it would be possible for the authority to be aware of any a flood occurring flood even in 3 days in advance. One important thing that we need to note is that iFlows from of Mumbai has been developed by Ministry of Earth Sciences in collaboration with BMC, which is the Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai, which earlier was known as the Bombay Municipal Corporation, but now it is the Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. So who actually has brought up the idea of iFlows, or who actually has developed this entire idea? This needs to be known. It would enable smart decision making and field action, because obviously when information will be in beforehand in the hands of the authority, they would be definitely in a better position to take decisions and to pursue any kinds of evacuation or disaster mitigation or management projects, or any kind of steps that they need to take. And also it would make the city more resilient during high rainfall events and also cyclones. Next, research on northeast monsoon. So as we know that both the monsoons, now be it the southwest monsoon or the northeast monsoon, both are important for Indian agriculture, as well as the other kinds of replenishing the various water resources, wetlands, etc. And even the northeast monsoon, as we just saw this one, the winter monsoon, which originates from the northeastern part of India. Basically, there is entire procedure where the monsoon winds start from here, and then they split due to the position of Indian peninsula. They split into two, and this monsoon actually reaches the northeastern region and comes back from this area, and that is why it is known as the northeastern monsoon or the winter monsoon. So this also constitutes 10 to 12% of India's annual rainfall, and the withdrawal of the southwest monsoon winds actually is equal, or it actually promotes the advent of the northeast monsoon in peninsular Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. And that is why there is a very intrinsic relationship between both the monsoons, be it the summer one or the winter one, or you also may call them the northeastern or the southwestern monsoon. So that is why this relationship between both these monsoons should be studied, and the changing patterns in any one of them would definitely, impact the change in pattern of the other monsoon, and that is why an integrated study of both the monsoons should be taken up. And finally, effective disaster management plans and improved resilience, because obviously if we have better information, better use of technology, and better coordination and collaboration amongst the people, various stakeholders and the authorities, there is a better chance of developing more effective disaster management plans and improved resilience in the cities or the affected areas. And for that matter, it is also important for us to study the changing patterns of the climate even locally, because obviously globally we know that the global temperature has risen to almost 2 degrees Celsius, and we are trying to mitigate the climate change at the global level. But again, it is very important to curb these kinds of environmental or climatic perils, and for that we need to study the local climate changes as well. So this was all for this article. Let's discuss the second one for the day, which talks about the Nice terror strike. Now, Nice here is the city of France, the French city wherein these terror attacks have taken place, and basically they're trying to defend the liberty of the people, but actually they're just not able to do that. And let's understand the entire situation over there. So recently, there was a series of horrific incidents in the French city of Nice. A teacher, as we all, we know that the teacher was beheaded. Actually, the head was cut for showing cartoons of Prophet Muhammad, and as a part of the class on free expression, and three more persons were killed very recently. So France, or the French government, has described the attack as another act of Islamist terrorism in its soil, and India has also supported the stance that has been taken up by France. Now, if we try to understand the historical background of religious, races or religious turmoil, if that occurs in France, so one thing that we need to know here is that France is the, big. It holds the largest Muslim population amongst all the European countries, and also since 2002, France has been repeated target of terrorist attacks, like cartoons of Prophet Muhammad by Charlie Hebdo, and with each attack, France's vulnerabilities to extremist ideology grew. So, since time, since 2002, we have been witnessing that these extremist steps or these extremist group have been growing their presence in the French population, due to which there have been recurring incidences of such religious intolerance, and wherein such killings have taken place, putting to question the entire social fabric or the prosperity of the French or the French society. So let's understand that what are the implications of these terror attacks and also the liberty. So France, basically, it is in support of liberty as a principle, as we just discussed, that French people as well, in general, and also the government, it says that we believe in liberty, or giving liberty to each individual of the society, and it is also preparing a new legislation to arm the law enforcers with powers of, so the people who are associated with enforcing the law will be now equipped with the powers of surveillance, to pull children from home to school and deport individuals if in case any individuals who are not of friendly nature with the country or the interest of the country, they would be deported, and children would be brought out of their homes and brought to the schools, and shut down mosque if perceived to be violating the French way of life. So that is how we can see that France is, yes, it is a tolerant country, but then again, it is definitely making efforts to reinstate the liberty of every individual of the society, and to curb down any such incidences of intolerance, be it in the name of any ethnic group or religion. Then here, limiting speech does incalculable harm to liberal freedom across the world. So this is the contention that basically France holds, that if you would try to limit the speech of any individual, it would actually do a significant harm to the liberal freedom across the world, because this definitely will put down the very freedom of the people to think and to also put up their ideas, and that is why liberty of thought as well as expression should be there as a basic right of every individual. So there are also some illiberal countries, the countries that actually do not believe into such a liberal, liberty given to every individual, like Malaysia, Turkey, and Pakistan, and they have actually positioned themselves as defenders of Islam. Now, this is a very question to be thought, that whether or not Islam really needs any kind of defense, because obviously, if we think in a manner of a prudent man, if any person, he believes, or he walks on the path of his own religion, be it anyone, seriously, be it anyone, Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, Zoroastrianism, or Buddhism, any religion in this world, there is no religion that actually teaches or would ask any person, or that the follower of that religion, to kill any person or kill a person specifically who is an innocent one. And even in Islam, it is mentioned that if a person who is innocent, and you have killed that one innocent person, that means you have killed the entire humanity. So this actually, more or less, they have various kinds of political and other power agenda, and that is why they actually try to come up as the defenders of Islam. And then they claim that the acts of France to be the provocation to put Islam on trial, and they think that like, for example, just we are saying that France has said that it would shut down the mosque if it is perceived to be violating French way of life. So if any kind of the sovereign law of France would be violated, then such mosque would be shut down. Maybe some such similar steps are considered by such illiberal countries to be as putting Islam on trial by the French people or the French government, and their argument is based on France's failed multiculturalism and neo-colonial past. And they say that France as a country has failed to accommodate various religions, and thus it is not able to, inculcate multiculturalism, and thus it is a failure in this regard. But obviously these are the contentions of these countries, and another country like France should not really be bothered about what these countries think, but also it should be successful enough to putting down any kinds of miscreant activities that either these countries or any other group, or radical group for that matter, tries to raise in countries like France. Then offensiveness has become a competitive community sport, like for the political mobilization. So basically, as we just discussed, that basically these are various, political interests, other kinds of power or business interests that these people who actually do such activities of killing other person or other people or innocent people, they actually try to satisfy their own monetary, economical, political or power or business needs, and that is how they have tried to use offensiveness for their competitive community sport, like for the purpose of political mobilization, like, and for this purpose images and ideas circulate instantly, and also deep fakes. Now just very recently we discussed about deep fakes, wherein videos and audios that seem to be very real but actually are fake in their nature, these are circulated over social media with such rigorous speed that it is very easy to make people a prey of their hate speeches or any kinds of illegitimate agenda, and that is why it should not be done. And the government and also the people should be very aware. Now be it in the case of France or be it India or any other country for that matter, we, as we just discussed also, before circulating or believing into any particular fact, be it related to any kind of business, money, economy, religion, community, women, men, children, education, be it any sphere of life, one should be very aware before circulating and even believing into a particular fact, and we should definitely verify an information before believing upon it. So people kill and behead in the name of religion, and basically it is like, obviously any prudent man can understand that no religion would ever want to kill any person, and that too an innocent person. So obviously there are different kinds of propaganda and agendas or intentions of these people who actually do such activities, and thus we should be clearly able to understand what they actually think about, and we should be very prudent in making our decisions. With this, let's see what do we have for news in flash today. First, Malabar Naval Exercise, that is India, US, Japan, Australia 2020. So the first phase will be held off the Vishakhapatnam coast. So it will be first time that Australia will join the exercise after 2007. So as we know that recently India had invited Australia to rejoin the Malabar exercise, and since 2007 it was performed as a trilateral naval exercise amongst India, US and Japan. But now it will be for the first time that Australia after 2007 will join it back. So it is a US guided missile destroyer USS John and S. McCain will participate into it. And from Australia, long range frigate HMAS Ballarat and MH-60 helicopter would participate. From Japan, destroyer JS Onami and SH-60 helicopter would participate. And from Indian side, destroyer INS Ranvijay, stealth frigate INS Shivalik, offshore patrol vessel INS Shakti and INS Sindhuraj would participate. So basically, remembering the names of all are not important, but just from the Indian side, it is important as to which all naval ships are participating in this exercise. Secondly, National Unity Day. Birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, it is his 144th year this year, is observed as National Unity Day. So as we know, he was a freedom fighter, and obviously, I hope you could all understand the answer. As you know, the Statue of Unity is also there in Gujarat, and it united 560, and he actually united 562 princely states to form the Republic of India during the time of Indian independence. Finally, 3D atomic map of novel coronavirus. So it has been done by Oak Ridge National Laboratory, US. So the map will actually allow the scientists to better understand that how the virus behaves once it enters the body of a human and how it can be stopped. So this is important. So yes, this was all for today. We hope it was a good session for you. Thank you so much for staying tuned with LawSikho.